Alert Reactor. Roll off.
What's up, Reactorites? I'm John.
I'm Mike.
And we're going to be reviewing X-Men Apocalypse. This is the latest X-Men movie from director Bryan Singer. And oh my god, what a good time to be like a superhero, a comic book fan, because we just got the release of Captain America Civil War, and that movie was great. And then now we have Apocalypse, and I think it's just crazy because they're both really good movies, and it's just hard to like choose because automatically you think like, what's the better comic book film? That's like on a lot of fans' mind, you know, and it's pretty up there. So I did enjoy it.
So yeah, who's the better one though? That's what everybody wants to know, John. But no, yeah, there's a lot of competition now, and it's like, wow, like when we saw it, literally we saw Civil War. And the next day, we watched, X-Men Apocalypse, the press screening, and it was just like, I remember sitting in the theater, I was like, this is so stupid. Like, there's no way that could, like, top it, or at least be somewhat as good. And then I was sitting there, and, like, there's at least 2 times where I almost cried in the theater, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's, there's a lot that is so cool about this film. The trailer that came out, it revealed that Wolverine's going to be in it because it had like him with his claws out. So his moment in this, his like little cameo that he has, is pretty cool. This is like an homage to like the comic book Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another highlight for you, I know, would be like the little Magneto subplot.
Oh my god! And I think that's one of the things I really liked about this movie, this and Civil War, is that even though they show you a lot in the trailers, you really don't know how they work out. Like, even watching, like, the trailer for Apocalypse, you're like, okay, how does this all work out? How does everything come to piece together? Because you're like, oh, you kind of already know Mystique is leading the X-Men or trying to help them. But then how does everybody else factor in?
Yeah.
And, like, I think for this one, like, Magneto really steals the show. Like, he is my favorite X-Men, or at least X-Men related character. Because wow, like even with First Class, because remember there was rumors like, oh, there's gonna be a Magneto Origins movie, and then you kind of got that all together in one. So this is all. If that was like X-Men Magneto First Class, this is like Magneto's Apocalypse or something. 'Cause it's not all him, but his parts are really, really good.
Really done well. Just because, like, ever since like the first X-Men movie, he's been a very tragic character. His family was in a concentration camp, and his mom's been taken away from him. So it's like, it's just the people that you connect with, they're taken away from you. And out of all the characters, he's like the most tortured out of all the mutants, the main characters. Yeah. So this one, we touch upon more of just him just trying to live a normal life, and just because he's a mutant, shit's gonna happen.
His parts were my favorite out of the entire movie, and like it in a way, it was kind of similar to Civil War, where things were making sense. Because I mean, through his story and through looking through Magneto's eyes, it's like, how do you not choose to side with him? Because it's hard to, Charles wants to be like, we're all able to be accepted, but are you really?
Yeah.
Like, are mutants really accepted? Like, there's a really good line with Mystique where she says, like, they just they do it like in secret now. Like, they don't hate us. Or like, oh, it's different now, Raven, or something. And it's like, no, they still hate us. They just don't say it out in front of us anymore. Like, very similar to the whole like racial tension, like, and which was what the X-Men are based off of, right? Like the whole
the X-Men is all about like just overcoming discrimination. Whether you're like a minority, or whether you're a female, or something like that. So it's all about like overcoming that and just being proud of who you are. Let's talk about the new characters. We get they're not really new, but you get the younger versions of Jean Grey, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and you get Jubilee. So I enjoyed like just their scenes. Here we get to see Cyclops. So I think this version of Cyclops is cooler than the films that came before it. Like, no offense to what's his name, James Marsden. This Cyclops, we kind of get to see like his origin story, And we also get to see how he first meets Jean Grey, and I like that little subplot that they have right there.
Yeah, and like you really get more character out of him, more charisma. He was so one note in the first X-Men movie. Like, where he say, "Hey, don't talk to my girl," you know, and
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're a dick." Okay, that's really like that's all Cyclops'
Yeah.
scenes where it's
Yeah.
like he's supposed to be the leader.
Yeah. So here he's actually taking the initiative to do something about it.
Yeah.
And him, Jean Grey. So it's pretty cool. And then we also get the other characters like Storm, Psylocke, Angel. Angel's pretty cool. He's like in a cage. If you've seen the trailer, he's like in a cage match with Nightcrawler. Then you have Psylocke. They made her like really powerful. Like just her psionic blade. It just extends out. Like in the comics, it's like yay long, but in the movie it's like this long.
She was enhanced.
She was enhanced. Yeah.
I really like Nightcrawler. He reminded me of X-Men Evolution Nightcrawler. Like, remember? Did you watch that?
I never watched X-Men Evolution. Maybe like 1 or 2 episodes.
Okay.
Wasn't a fan.
Okay, but he reminded me a lot of that because he was a lot of the comic relief. Like he was very awkward and very like, oh, my name is Kurt. You know, Kurt von Wagner, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like he reminded me of that same character, like that same style, and I really like that compared to, Alan Cummings.
Yeah, his version.
He was like very like kind of similar.
He's a religious man.
Religious. Oh yeah, but still, Kurt was kind of religious in this movie. But I just liked his dynamic with the other characters. You know, like he didn't know what was going on. He's like, I want to see a mall. He's never been anywhere. He's always probably hiding in the shadows because he's stuck like that all the time. Remember, he's got those hands thing and a tail, so there's not a lot for him to hide, or ways for him to hide. So him wanting to go out and see the world was pretty interesting to me. So I hope we get to see more of Kurt.
And since this movie's called X-Men Apocalypse, we have to talk about Apocalypse. So Oscar Isaac, if you don't know, he's been you can see him in Star Wars, Force Awakens, and Ex Machina. And here he plays Apocalypse. It's a very different take on Apocalypse compared to the comic books, but somehow they captured the essence of him just wanting to rule and having his own domain and all that.
Yeah, what did you think of his like? I mean, we saw the first pictures and everybody was up in roar, like, "Oh my God, Ivan Ooze!" And
Ivan Ooze, yeah, he's purple, and there are this version he's blue, and he still looks like Apocalypse, kinda. But he's pretty one note. But I can understand where he's coming from in this movie because they explain why he wants to just rule the world and all that.
Yeah, and like with the suit, I mean, there were some times he looked good, like, and then sometimes he didn't. Like, I kind of wish they kept like. There's this thing where they would have him, where he was really tapping into his power, and then he had like that distorted voice.
Yeah.
I wish they just kept it that way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like when he was like, "Oh, my child," or "Oh, my children." It was just kind of weird.
You see all types of like just crazy shit from Apocalypse. Like he would disintegrate people, or like people's bodies would be like contorted in different ways. And it's like, oh my God, it's this guy is so violent. This movie's probably like the most violent X-Men movie to date.
So where would you rank this in your like list of like X-Men movies?
It's definitely one of the best X-Men films. Like my favorite, I loved was it Days of Future Past, just going back in time, and just that storyline, that was good. X-Men First Class I enjoyed. X2, so this one, just the way they've done like just Apocalypse, like he's OP. It's been a while since we've seen like a truly evil like bad guy, because the X-Men, they were always fighting against Magneto, and we never really get to see like a super mutant that like the whole team they're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah. So you still like what first, second, third? give me a number, John.
I can't give you a number now, but this is definitely up there. Like maybe for me, I enjoyed it a little bit more than Days of Future Past.
Ooh,
yeah.
Whoa, that's
It's just because of the stuff that they have with like just how powerful Apocalypse is, and just the subplot with Magneto, and just the introduction of the young X-Men characters like Cyclops, Jean Grey. I like seeing them. I like seeing how they first discovered the Professor X's school, and just all of that, just nostalgia, and just Bryan Singer and the writers bringing the stuff that you love from the comics and cartoons to this.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. And we got out of the screening. There was a lot of people they were talking, and I kept hearing about, well, how does this kind of relate to the first 3 movies? It's like, forget what you know about the first 3 movies. This is like a really this slate has been wiped clean, and they even make a joke at some point about the 3rd movie, and that was a good point. But I mean, this is new. This is a new series. Next one, how is this all gonna fit together? We don't know.
Because this movie takes place in the 80s, so we're gonna go after that. Are they gonna continue with more adventures of young Jean Grey, young Cyclops, young Nightcrawler? Because we're already introduced to them in this movie, and I can see more of that cast. But then a part of me still wants to see what's the X-Men doing now? This is like the new generation. Like the last time, X-Men 3, pretty much Jean Grey wiped out a lot of mutants, and it's just, ooh, what's going on? Tell me.
Yeah, especially with the next Wolverine is supposed to be Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
So how's that going to factor? How are they going to do that? I guess they're going to use the original cast, or how does that work now that everything that's happened with Days of Future Past too?
I'm pretty sure Old Man Logan, they're gonna have something it's probably gonna be like the current but futuristic version of the modern X-Men universe. So hopefully we get to see the older versions of the X-Men characters, like maybe Anna Paquin returning as Rogue, and then we get to see Bobby Drake again, Iceman. So that'd be interesting to see. So X-Men Apocalypse is coming out on May 27th in the US. We definitely recommend watching this film, especially if you're an X-Men fan. With that said, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
And we'll see you guys next time.
One of the biggest movies of the summer, one of the biggest collisions between superheroes that's ever been seen on film, and we saw it today. Wow, what a crazy movie.
I loved it.
Yeah?
I thought it was great.
So, you've probably seen it from the trailers. There's a difference in opinion between Cap and our